is talking about the power of gratitude and sales success. I think that right now, with everything that we're experiencing, again, we don't need to get into all of it. We've obviously, the last 2 to 3 months of our lives with this pandemic, we've been impacted a lot. This has been a significant setback for most of us. There's not anybody in the world, probably the first time we've experienced this, anybody in the world who hasn't in some way been impacted by this. And so I think that it's really important that we really focus on the things that we're grateful for, so we don't get too distracted by the negativity that's out there. I know, and I'm confident that if you're spending very much time on social media, it's crazy out there right now, and your people's opinions are all over the board, and we can easily get sucked into that negativity. We can get sucked into the conflict and the contention, and it doesn't usually do us really a lot of good, because it can be a very negative environment. So spread the love, share the positivity. Aaron put this together, and I think that it's great. So I'm just going to jump here to my next slide. Maybe I can get my thing. Oh, there it went. I went too far. So as she kind of went through this and put it together, we kind of discovered that research has emerged on the tremendous impact of gratitude that can have on so many aspects of our lives, even in driving a significant increase in sales. The people who at the end of each day write down 3 things they're grateful for are much happier than those who don't. So, a lot of us have talked about this, and we've heard this, and, we've heard of the, things like a gratitude journal. Aaron started a great conversation on WhatsApp on Monday, just expressing her gratitude, and several of you jumped in and shared pictures. And so we when things are rough and they're hard, we got to do things that make us smile, and one of those things is to learn to really appreciate the small things that really bring us a lot of happiness. So selling isn't all sunshine and rainbows, as most salespeople know, but letting yourself get caught up in a lost sale or missed opportunity can put you in a permanent slump. While you'll always experience bumps in the road, it's up to you to be in control of your outlook and attitude. During tough times, reframe your thoughts to find the good in the situation. Use gratitude to learn from even the toughest situations. And this I really like, in really focusing on this kind of people-first attitude. Selling requires an emphasis on others' needs and wants. So again, we are all of you, most of you, and even Greg is brand new on the call. As we learn to put people first and other people's needs first, we can have a lot of success. I love an old quote by Zig Ziglar that I've always loved, is that if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll be able to get what you want. And it's really a focus on helping other people, and that's what we do in this industry. We genuinely help other people to prevent the hardest day of their life, and we just are trying to make it a little bit easier. So by focusing on gratitude, you're keeping yourself in touch with the human element of selling. Rather than thinking about the outcome of your sales calls, consider the actual person you're calling. Be grateful for the opportunity to speak with him or her and the potential new relationship. You'll find that your relationships will be much stronger and more fulfilling. So this is that, another quote that I like is, instead of focus on closing sales, focus on opening new relationships. Those relationships always lead to more things, but if you're, again, looking for your next sell, that's really difficult. It can be a negative environment if you're just looking to start new relationships, and that's really what we've been focusing on the last couple of months, and why we changed things to focusing on conversations and texts and checking in with people and seeing how they're doing. Those relationships that we've started are going to eventually turn into production, but we just have to get things in the right order. And then this creates some momentum. With sales consciousness, you embrace gratitude. find themselves enjoying their careers over the long term. It's really easy, you guys, to get caught up, and you all work at different funeral homes with different dynamics and different people, and some are very supportive and some don't want anything to do with you, and sometimes you hear somebody's talked behind your back, but you really got to look for those moments to show gratitude. And again, I would express that gratitude openly. That's one of the things that I found. It's been many years since I've sold on a regular basis, but I just looked for as many opportunities as I could to thank a funeral director for doing something, or if somebody, even just took a phone call from a call-in and left a message on your desk, going out of your way to thank them for that. Thanks so much for taking that message and putting it on my desk. Things are tough right now, and the more help I can get, the better. Is there anything I can do to help you? But be grateful for each stage of the sales process by focusing on how each fits into the overall big picture. Prospecting is one of those things that can be really hard, but that's the one thing that leads us to more opportunities. So, being grateful for the fact that you have control, you have a lot of control over the sales process. And the better you get and the more effective you become, we should have a lot of gratitude in the fact that, again, we're in an industry that while we've been impacted, we haven't gone out of business. Most of you on this call, if not all of you, had sales last month. You had income last month. And some of you did extremely well. So we should be really grateful for the opportunity that we have. That the harder we work, the luckier we get. The mindset propels you through the tough times and allows you to find steady momentum for a long-term career. And I think that, again, everybody on the call today, we're in this for the long term. I personally have been doing this for more than 20 years. I started in my early 20s, so you can do the math there. But, now at 46 years old, I can say, for about 23 years now, I've been able to, I've had good years and bad years, don't get me wrong. I've had some really tough and challenging years, and I've had to change careers and work with different companies and have had some major setbacks. But the rewards of this business, if you stay focused on the positive side of it and what we're doing in serving families, it really does keep you moving forward. And many of you on the call today have been doing this a very long time, and we know how rewarding it can be, with both helping families and then also financially rewarding as well. And that's an important element of this, but it just has to come in the right order. This is just a quick chart, but it just kind of talks about the importance of the impact of a gratitude journal as they track participants who actually did this for at least a week or over a 6-month period. But even those who just did this for 1 week, every day for 1 week, they wrote 3 different things that they were grateful for at the end of their day. And they stopped at the end of that week. That group still continued to have an increase in being surveyed later, 6 months down the road, in their what they would consider their level of happiness. So I think you might see on WhatsApp something to follow this, where we might want to just share the 3 things you're grateful for and kind of get a little fun thread going, and just kind of keep that going for just a little while. But I think as we do that, and as we do that personally, it will definitely make a difference in our overall attitude about our lives and about our careers. And again, of course, this just shows that gratitude equals happiness. And then in this author who wrote The Happiness Advantage, and a former Harvard professor, being happier makes you better at every aspect of your job. And in the Harvard Business Review, he even stated a statistic that those who are grateful and show gratitude are 37% better at sales. Now, for those of you who have been in sales for any period of time, there can be a lot of complaining with the sales job, right? Complaining about someone who stood you up, complaining about a one-legged appointment, complaining about families that canceled appointments, complaining about the people that we work with. Sales can be a challenging job, and we find ourselves constantly complaining about the leads, or the funeral home, or the funeral home owner, the funeral directors, or there's always something, and just really internalizing and taking that full responsibility and being grateful for so many things that we do have. The statistics show that we can be 37% better at sales if we are grateful and express our gratitude, and keep a gratitude journal. So in addition, gratitude research shows that being thankful, it elevates your IQ, it enhances your creativity, it increases resilience, it helps you get through difficult times easier. Obviously, expressing gratitude to other people, it deepens your relationships. It unquestionably makes you more productive, and openly expressing gratitude obviously builds social capital as well. As people see you? I mean, this is the question, right? Do people see you as a complainer, or do they see you as someone who is grateful? And we've all worked with both kinds of people, so you know exactly what I'm talking about here. That sometimes you just avoid certain people because anything they have to say is negativity. Sometimes you even have people that will start their sentence like, I don't mean to be negative, but, and you hear that, several times a day. Well, they're being negative. So, catch yourself doing those things, and do your best to create a positive environment. And you're a leader within your organization too. You have a great impact on the people around you. And if you're that positive, charismatic person who's obviously always expressing gratitude to those around you, that you can change the culture within an organization by, and at the very minimum, those people who are negative will stop being negative with you because they just know it's not going to get them anywhere. So, I've always liked the statement too. Don't treat people as they are, treat people as you want them to become. And so sometimes we treat those negative people in a certain way because they're negative. But again, going out of our way to even offer compliments to those people who we have a hard time with, we're treating people as they can become, not as they are. And you can truly create significant change in people's lives by having this type of attitude. And then I'm just going to, Aaron went through some pictures from our WhatsApp. So this is kind of fun. These are some ones that came through this week. We got a picture of Spencer's family here. This is John. Looks like he's out on the beach with his wife. I'm assuming. I hope that's your wife, John. And then Angie and her daughter. Tom just shared a picture of his elderly parents who he gets to go and play poker with each week. Aaron posted a picture of her son. This is a awesome picture of a sunset that Michael shared on WhatsApp this week. Top left is a picture of me and my family on a canyoneering trip last summer that we did down in southern Utah, down some slot canyons. We got Diana and her family on a recent road trip, Nicholas and his son and wife. And he shared a heart-filled post about them trying to have another child. They've been struggling. So, if there's anything you can do to help there, let's reach out and see what we can do for Nicholas and his family. Kathy and her husband and grandkids, which she's raising. So just a beautiful family. This is the bottom picture is Larkin Sunset Gardens Memorial Day picture. Those guys all out working this last Memorial Day weekend. We got a picture of Melanie here when we did a profile on her, Agent Spotlight. Looks like she just finished a big race. Anyways, I just see lots of smiles here. Here's Rob again, Aaron, Michael, Kelly, and Armand. Probably looks like maybe at a movie theater doing a senior movie event there. It looks like I see a lot of smiles and a lot of people, things that we have to be grateful for. And again, some more pictures. There's Rex there at the top with his family. Bottom right was one of our most recent training classes that we had at the Envision offices before COVID-19. We haven't had one since, but you can see a lot of smiles and there's a lot of things to be grateful for in our lives. So I'd be open to any final thoughts on this at all, or anything maybe that you've experienced in your own life that has that has helped you stay grateful. You guys have any thoughts to share?
West, I'll share a little bit. It has been fun to see all the pictures on WhatsApp and a few things too. And I really do. I think success breeds success. Happiness brings happiness. And I was talking with Spencer the other day, and I said to him, I said, man, there's just like this weird funk in the air, it seems like, with, you know, all the COVID and then these riots and just this weird feeling. And he just talked about, you know what, honestly, I think the vibration and the things that you put out, what you put out, you definitely bring back into your life. And we definitely need more love and compassion for each other, and look at each other as more as companions and those kind of things. And it truly is, we need more of that. But the more you're grateful, I'm totally about that. I love to have a smile on your face and greet people. I hate having masks on because you can't smile at people and a few things too. I think that's changing. I truly believe this. So have a smile. Make people wonder what you're happy about.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Travis. Absolutely. Is there any other thoughts anybody would like to share? Okay, well, thank you. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. I think it's a challenge for all of us. Erin's not on the call, but I'll openly thank her for thinking about this and putting it together. Again, we're in a challenging time, and we're all facing some very challenging things. It was in my 10 list email I sent out earlier in the week. But I really also like that statement that I heard and shared, if you haven't read that yet, that the problem is only the problem when you believe it's the problem. And that I've known people who have just even eliminated that word from their vocabulary, and they use either the word challenge or opportunity. And that's kind of seeing things differently, is that, when something, difficult happens in our lives, instead of asking, why did that happen to me, or why do I deserve this? Just always changing that question to, what am I supposed to learn from this experience? Where's the silver lining in all of this? And I think if we ask the right questions, we're going to find more solutions. If we look for problems, we find more problems. If we look for solutions, we find more solutions. And if we look for things to be grateful for, we'll find more things to be grateful for. And I believe 100% in this universal law of attraction, that when you are grateful for things, that you are blessed with more things to be grateful for. And I'm a big believer in that. So you guys, let's have a good rest of your week. We'll wrap up the day strong. Let's have a good June. Stay focused. Be great. Yeah, please go ahead.
One of the things that I've been extremely grateful for throughout this coronavirus and in the first part of the year and the challenges that I went through is the Envision team. You guys have been so supportive and so innovative. You've done everything possible to give us every opportunity to be successful. And I really, really appreciate your support, your innovation, that word, innovation.
Yeah, thank you.
I just feel like we're in such an incredibly wonderful place being a part of Envision. I've been with a lot of other teams, and it's by far the best team I've ever been with. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
Thank you, Diana. Those are great words, and I really appreciate that. I mean, we didn't know what we were doing going into it. We just kept looking for solutions. So they were coming at you at full speed, and I know a lot of you have implemented and utilized some of those tools, and that's all that you can. I mean, this was new territory for all of us, and we could have easily gotten hung up on the problem. We decided early on that we would, those are things we didn't have control of, but there was stuff we could control, and that's what we tried to drive. So thank you for your kind words. That means a lot to all of us that are on the call. And I hope that we can continue to be that for you. And even when things get better and get back to the new norm, which is the new terminology that we're all using now, that we continue to grow and be successful together as a team. So thank you, Diana, for sharing that. And thanks everybody for being on the call today. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Wes.
Bye-bye.
Wes.